Welcome back friends to the part 9 of this tutorial series. In this part we will work on the remaining models and we will see the remaining dummy data to our database and use Postman to fetch the details. Okay, so let's quickly start the work. So I'll go to the models folder, right click and go to JavaScript file. I'll name this as category. This will be my category schema. So I'll import Mongoose because that's the base package. Okay, now I will name it as category schema. This is a variable that I will use and it will be new mongoose.schema. So it's a method, and before I do anything else I'll export it with the mongoose.model method. And the name I want to give this model is category. Okay, and the schema is category schema. So in my database, the database name will be the pluralized version of this model name, that's category. So it will be categories there. So a category should have one title field. We have type string, and I want to trim any spaces in the front and or in the end. This is a required field, of course, so let's make it required. I'll put an error message, please enter the title. Next is the description. Again, it's a string type and required is false, so you may or may not give it a description. Okay. Next model will be my order model. So in my order, again I'll copy the required statement from here, and the schema name is order schema, new mongoose.schema. Export it using mongoose.model order and order schema. So the schema will look like total price of type number, required is true, please enter price. Next is the paid status, type of boolean, and default is false. Items, so the items you bought, okay, it will be an array of objects. So type will be mongoose.schema.types.id, because I want to store only the object ID of the products that I purchased. And the ref, so the reference will be my product model. Okay, and make sure you use the same casing that you have here in your product schema. Okay, all right. Next is date of order. We have type date and default is date.now. So it will by default store the current date of your system. Okay. Next property is the user property who placed the order. So every order needs to be linked to a particular user ID. Okay, so it will be mongoose.schema.types.id, and ref is my user schema that I'll just create in a moment. Okay, so with this, save it, go back to my models folder, new JavaScript user. So again, I'm gonna borrow some code from here and name it user schema equals to new mongoose schema, then export it, user and the schema is user schema. Okay, so inside this will have a first name property that will be of type string. Required is true. Please enter first name. Next we'll have last name, type of string, and required is again true. Please enter last name. Next email will be of type string. Required is true, of course. Please provide the email, and this has to be unique, okay, because I don't want multiple users using the same email address for the sign in or authentication purposes. Okay, so the next field I want to store is the password. Okay, it will be of type string, of course, and required is true. Please enter a password, and one property, that's a select property, I'm setting it to false. So if you set this property to false, Mongoose will not display the password when you query the user database. Okay, I'll show you that in a moment. Okay, so apart from this, I want to show you some cool trick here. Okay, so we also want to encrypt the password. Okay, so let's quickly go ahead and seed the data first. So I'll go back to the seed data file here. So presently I'm only importing one, so let's import the rest. This will be my orders, this is my categories, and this is my users. So I'll name it, let's check the names. Orders is orders, this one is categories, and this one is users. Okay, now I'll import the schemas as well, or models. Oops, so this is my order, this is my category, the last one will be my user, category, and user. Now I'll go down here and I'll replace this with category. This will be my order, and this is my user. So I'll choose the correct variable from here, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. Okay, so once that is done, in the delete method also I need to use the same thing. So user, the order doesn't matter, of course, it can be any order you want, and this is my order. All right, so once this is done, let's see, let me go ahead and close the server. Okay, it's already closed, so I'm gonna run use the run command, remove. So this will remove the existing data from the database. Okay, we can double check that here. Okay, everything is empty. Now we'll use npm run import. That's the custom command we created in the package.json file. Okay, now every data has been synced. If I go to the node API and hit refresh, I have 4 categories, 2 orders, 8 products, and 2 users. But if you go to the users, you'll see the password is displayed in plain text. So there are 2 ways to encrypt it. First of all, let's import the package that we will use. So the package is pcrypt.js. So I'm gonna use my IDE's functionality to install it, but you can use the command line like npm install package name. So this is the package name. Okay, make sure you install it. So one way would be to go to the user controller and whenever there is a registration, okay, a new registration, so you put that logic there, put the logic of encrypting the password there, and whenever you save the changes, that will be saved in the encrypted form. But I don't want to use the register method to encrypt this password, because if we do that, then it will not encrypt the password when we import the data using the seeder file, and that functionality will be dependent on the register function only. So in order to do that, what we will use, middleware. So we will use Mongoose middleware to encrypt password. So if you go to the browser, let me check here. If you go to Mongoose middleware, so there are many middlewares. So the one we will be using here is the pre middleware. So pre takes in, you can call it on your schema variable. It takes the particular state where you want to call this function. So we have multiple string values here. So one of them is save. The next one is I believe after next or something like that. So init is not init. It is for the post middleware. So let me just show you. My IDE should give you some hint. So if I call my schema, that's my user schema, and you see it gives me the function name here, the middleware name here. So I'll use it, and if I hit the single quotes, so these are all the string values you can use. Okay, so the one we are looking for is save. Okay, so after you do that, it takes a callback function, as you can see here in the hint. So it will be a regular function here. Do not use an arrow function, otherwise it will not work. So we will make this an async function, okay, because bcrypt returns promises, so we want to evaluate that before we proceed further. Okay, so first of all, let's check if the password is not modified, right? And I need to use this. Okay, so it's a function present in Mongoose. Check whether any field has been modified or not. So I'll check for the password field. Okay, so it's the same name that you have given here. If it is not modified, we'll move to the next piece here, and here I need to pass next as a parameter. So we need a salt value to generate the hash, the encrypted hash. For that, I'll use the bcrypt.gensalt function here, and the number of rounds I want is 10. So if you put a higher number, it will generate a stronger salt, but that would again take huge amount of time. So 10 is a pretty decent value. And next is I want to set the current password value to bcrypt.hash function. It will hash the current password with the salt. Okay, it will use the current password and the salt to hash it and give the hash value. So whenever you're using middlewares and you're inside the schema, you can refer to the properties here that you define here using this keyword. Okay, so any property that you want to use here, use this keyword here. Okay, so once you do that, let me save the changes and delete everything from my database. So presently, if I just show you, password is unhashed. Okay, it's not encrypted. If I refresh this, it's gone now. But now when I will import the data, you will notice that the password will be encrypted. Refresh. There we go. You see my password, both of them are in encrypted format. So this will work even if you save the entry using some registration function or register method. So it will again come to this middleware, look for the save method here, and before saving it, it will run all these lines and hash the password for you. Perfect. Isn't that brilliant? Okay. Also, I'll show you one more thing. So if I go now to my Postman and query users, right? Oh, I don't have the server running, so let's do that. npm start. The server is running now. Hit send. Oops. Okay, it says cannot get users. We don't have any users. Route, basically. So quickly go to routes and create a new JavaScript file. Sorry, this will be users.js. I'm gonna borrow some code from here. Okay, copy, paste. Module.exports equals to router. Okay, and I'll only create one get route here as of now. Okay, to show you the output. So rest.json. I'll first make this async, and const users will be user, not product. Come on, this should be user, and import from the user model user.find all and return it. So this should be awaited, and I'm not checking for any validation here, so I'm simply returning it here. Okay, users. Let's see if we get it or not. And okay, we will not get it right now because we need to go to app.js and load the routes and import it. So this will be my user route from users, and API/users will be my users route. Now if I save the changes, quickly go back to Postman and hit send. There we go. So now I get my user data. Okay, you see here I don't have the password. Okay, I have first name, last name, email, but the password is not shown. That is because we have set the select property to false. If I make it to true, save the changes, go back, hit send, then we have the password field as well. But you don't want to set it as true, so set it as false, go back. Okay, so what if I want another property here, let's say display name or full name, but I don't want to store the data in my database. I don't want to populate that field here, but still whenever the user queries the API, the request should return the full name as well. So again, there are two ways. First way is, of course, pretty obvious. You create a new attribute here and store that in database. Okay, so what's the next one? Next one is to use virtual properties. Okay, so show virtual property of display name. Okay, so in order to use that feature, what we need to do, we need to set some options here in the schema, and the first one is to JSON. Okay, you need to enable the virtuals here, set true, and do the same thing for to object. So all this is present in your Mongoose documentation. Okay, now here we'll again go to the user schema, use the virtual method, right, and we'll give it a name, any name you want. So I'll give full name. Okay, again this takes this doesn't take here, so I'll chain the get function here or get method here. So this takes a function, a regular function, not the arrow function. Okay, so here I can return this dot first name plus a space, then this dot last name. And since I'm inside the user schema, I'm querying it, so I can directly query these fields. Okay, so I have my full name in the form of first name space last name. So let's see if this works. So I save the changes, go back to Postman. Right now in the previous request I did not have any full name here, so let me send it again. Boom, so you see I get the full name, which has been derived from the first name and last name. Okay, there we go. So this is the power of Mongoose, and if you refer to its documentation you will have a lot of information here. Okay, so before I end this video I want to show you how you can populate other schemas. So if I go to my product here, you see I have an array of categories, and if I go to my Postman and go to my products route, so I get these categories instead of the category name. So the way you do that, you populate it, is go to the controller and the place where you call it. So this is the function. Okay, so you simply chain a method called populate, and you pass in the path to your model that you want to populate, and in my case it's category. And if you want to just select some fields, you can put it here. So I'm gonna select the title only. So save the changes now and go back here. So if you send a new query, you'll see you get the categories populated here. So send it. It says schema hasn't been registered for model category. All right, let's see. Product model, where is it? Category, and here it's category again. So let's go back. That should work actually. Save the changes. Oops, let's terminate it. npm start. Schema hasn't been registered for model category. Well, let's see if I remove this and hit give the path only category. Okay, so let me just quickly go here. I guess something is messing with my model.exports. I need to go to here, decrypt, and there is a file here somewhere. I'm not sure. Yeah, so to comment this out, war module. Yep. See. Go back, send. Okay, never mind. I'll troubleshoot this and I'll share the fix with you in my next video. But this is the way you actually go and populate various fields that have a what do you call object ID present in them. Okay, so In the next video, we'll see how we can add more properties in the response, and we'll create a custom function or middleware, you can say, that will give you advanced results or many more attributes in the result. Okay. Alright, till then, please subscribe to my channel, and if you have liked the video, smash the like button and share this with your friends. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.